Hello everybody, it's ActusXD, and today I wanted to do a video on like some tips, tricks, guide kind of thing, just like rapid fire about some stuff I've found out as I've played the game that isn't immediately obvious, that should hopefully help anyone else that might not have figured it out too. Hopefully you lot are smarter than me and you know some of these things, so I'll put some chapters down below and you can just skip through to what interests you. I'm not going to number them because I have no idea how many I'm going to get through, but let's just get stuck straight into it. The first thing I wanted to discuss briefly is player housing. Now, you get 50% off your first house, and I think for a lot of people that means that they're going to want to, or they think they're going to want to save for the $20,000 house to get the biggest saving. However, you get so much benefit from owning a house, especially while you're leveling, that I think there could be a strong argument for copping some of that greater loss and getting a house earlier on. If you're going to save up for 10,000 coins for the 20,000 house for your first one, you're probably going to wind up being like level 45 or higher by the time you get there. Whereas if you get one of the cheaper houses, although you are losing some of that gold, you're going to have access to the house recall, which is active for the lowest tier of house every 4 or 8 hours, I think. But even at the longest time to reset it, it only ever costs 50 Azoth, and that's true for both the tier 4 house, the 20,000 house, and also the tier 1 house, the 5,000 house. So I think there's a strong argument for just getting that house so you can get the recall. You get a little bit of extra storage with the tier 1 house. With the tier 4 houses, you get twice as much, but I don't think that that is necessarily as big a problem because you can have your stash spread out over a few towns anyway, and you get the same amount of trophies in each house. So I think even in the long term, it's better to have, say, 2 or 3 smaller houses than just the one big one. I've been level 60 for a while now. I've still only got the one house, which means I only get 3 or 5 trophies and the one recall across the map. A few rapid fire tips for your inventory, things that you might not have noticed even though they're there if you're looking. Down the bottom there's a repair all button that will repair all of the gear that you are currently wearing. In the bottom on the right hand side there is a button for giving coin. You can do that to anyone who's online anywhere on the map, provided you type in their name with correct capitalization. Up the top right in your inventory you can change the way things are sorted. Now it only changes the things inside their categories, so it's not going to change everything and mix up your armor and your pots. It's only going to change things inside the categories. That's also true for your bank, where you can search, so you can categorize by the weight of things in their category, by the gear score, their tier. Something that I only just recently found out myself is that you can search not by item name, but by more specificity or more granular detail in the search bar. So if you type, like I just did then, pants T4, it's going to show you every set of pants that you have that are T4 or tier 4 or higher. So it's going to show you your tier 4s and your tier 5s. I think the same thing is true for, say, pots and things like that. However, if you type in potion, it's only going to show you the name of the potions that have potion in their name. I just had name so many times there. Name. So it's not going to show you like your strong blight tincture, because that's a tincture, not a potion, which is a fun word to say. You can also take everything out of your inventory, out of your shed with the take all button, and you can transfer things between your banking locations, provided that your faction owns the territory. So if you're in Windswood and your faction also owns, say, Morningdale or First Light, if you click in storage location and go there, you can drag things in out of your shed and into your inventory. You've got to pay a small gold cost, which pops up to confirm that you're happy to do it, but you can still access those things. So when you're thinking about where you want to store your different items, you can pay a bit of attention, I suppose, to where you think your faction's going to either hold territory or will soon hold territory, and store things there so that you've got access to it elsewhere. You will see here that as I double roll and get my stamina bar to 0, it greys out, and until it goes back to 100, it stays greyed out. That whole time I was trying to spam continue to roll, and the game wouldn't let me. If you deplete your stamina bar to 0 and then try to roll from that point, you can't until you get back to full stamina. However, if you roll down just to 50 or even to 1, without depleting the stamina bar, as soon as you're back over 50 or whatever your relevant dodge maneuver is, you'll be able to do it again, provided you didn't hit 0 on the first time. So you can see here now as I roll, I wait for it to go back over 50 and I can roll again as long as I don't deplete the bar. Another quick thing to know about dodge rolling is that if you immediately sheath or unsheath your weapon after rolling, so for instance my dodge roll is shift and my sheath is X. If I go Shift X like that quickly, you'll cancel the end of the dodge roll animation and be able to get back to full speed faster. So if you're just using it to move around the world or you're using it in PvP, it's much quicker than just pressing shift and waiting for the dodge animation to finish on its own accord. This is true for a couple of other things as well. I know for certain that for the hatchet berserking ability, if you use berserk and then you right click to block, as soon as you've berserked, you'll cancel that animation and you'll be able to get back to attacking much quicker than just letting the animation finish. Leave a comment down below if you know of any other animation cancels, either with sheathing or blocking or some other thing that might be helpful for other people, but those two are ones I definitely recommend. Now, I don't know if this one is just me, because my friend said, gee, I really like in this game how it's obvious where damage is either increased or reduced by mob's type, because I had absolutely no idea. So I'll let you guys know and you can decide for yourself. But you'll see here that the damage numbers that are appearing are yellow, and beside the damage that's happening is two little up arrows. That means that they're taking increased damage from that damage type. So in this instance, it's my fire staff, but it's doing ice damage because of the gem. So that mob is weak to ice damage, and therefore it does more damage. So yellow means they take more damage, blue means they're taking less damage, and orange is a crit. The orange crits can still sometimes be a crit from an ice when they're vulnerable to ice, is meaning it's doing more damage as part of the crit, and you can see those numbers pop up as well. But yeah, just to quickly rehash, yellow is doing extra damage because of a mob vulnerability. Blue, reduced damage due to mob strengthness ability, shush, and orange is a crit. Now, everyone else might know that, and I'm just a moron, but that wouldn't be the first time. Okay, thank you. This next one very quickly. Fishing gives the ingredients to make the best stat food in the game, which is going to be super important. The fishing quest is very easy up until the very last one, which gives a legendary rod, and it gives really good gear, which gives you a better chance to catch bigger and better fish. It doesn't take much other than traveling around the world, really, and you can do all your fishing at the zone where you get the quest before you go hand in the next one. Super worthwhile doing. Get on it. It gives XP as well, so you may as well get it done while you're leveling, and then you can just go and hand it in as you travel around the world doing your leveling. Very much worth it. I ignored it until far too late. Don't do what Donnie don't did. Okay, everyone in the world's done a video on this, so I just want to cover it really quickly. Townboard missions. They are really good, and some of them are not so good. In my opinion, this is the order of goodness of them. Armor and weaponsmithing crates are the best. Cooking ones are the second best. Pots, as long as they're the cheap pots, like common mana potions that you see here, they're really good. Crappy mats are pretty decent. You get a lot of experience for the higher mats, but they're also higher mats, and so it's a greater trade-off. You're losing a lot of either potentially higher crafting skill or more gold. It's more time to collect them. That's a thing a decision you've got to make yourself, like wordwood planks. I did a few of those because I had so much wordwood, but I wasn't that keen to give up star metal ingots. Explorers needed. I would only do those ones when I had side missions or main quest lines. I know I just said missions, but we're just going to move on, ignore it, that were sending me in that general area. I just accept the mission, have a look where it was going to send me, and if it wasn't any good, I'd abandon it. That's another thing to think about. If you see a mission that you don't want to do, accept it and then abandon it, because you'll get another one more quickly in some occasions. And you basically never want to do the animal kill quests. They're pretty useless unless it's like one grizzly bear and you know you're heading out to Brightwood in that area or whatever. And then you really never want to do the fishing ones. It's too much of a pain in the neck, and to buy them off the auction house is too expensive. Just very quickly, when you've accepted, say, a cooking mission off a town board, you can see it in your town project here. Say, I've got cook and deliver luxury supplies for Windswood. It's here. When I come to the kitchen, it'll pop up here. There it is. It's luxury supplies there. So if you're wondering how you're supposed to craft it after you've accepted, it's a very beginner tip, I know. This is where it goes. And if you are like, okay, I need to go get that stuff. Do I need to go see if it's in one of my other storage sheds? Do I want to go buy the stuff off the auction house? A little tip you can do is to pin the recipe, and then it will be pinned in your recipes over here in the tab down here. So you'll be able to see when you're away from the kitchen, what exactly it is you need. You just come down to recipes here. You can only have one thing pinned at a time, so just bear that in mind, but it's a bit helpful rather than trying to remember exactly what it is you need. Often when I was leveling, I'd have like 10 different cooking projects from town boards. I just open up a Google Doc, take screenshots when I was at a kitchen of everything that I needed, and then run over to the auction house. This runs nicely into my next tip, which is don't spend all your gold when you're leveling buying stuff off the auction house to complete your town board. Really quickly, you want to put an upper limit on how much you're willing to spend to get some experience back. I ran myself to the ground. At one point I had 0.04 gold coins to my name, which is a bit like me in reality. I have the same economic skills in real life as I do in the game, obviously, but I think it would have been a lot easier and a lot better for me if I had budgeted a bit better, held myself or constrained myself a bit more, went and farmed the materials myself, or just did more side quests or whatever, because I had a lot of those when I got to level 60. It might be quicker, but you're going to jib yourself in the long run. You're going to find yourself scrounging to go back and doing those side quests when you are 60, just trying to get the gold from them anyway, and then you're not benefiting from the experience. It's obviously a decision you have to make for yourself. Last but not least for this video, I want to talk about using a sword and board. You'll find that if we look at my health with my regular weapons on, I have 9,515 health. If I put this sword on, my health stays the same. That's because it's got no constitution on it. This shield has 12 constitution on it, so when I put it on, my health should go up. My health stays exactly the same. That is because shield does absolutely nothing unless it is not only equipped, but also equipped and unsheathed. Even, or not unsheathed, but like it's your weapon that's focused. So you can see in the bottom right hand corner that my sword and shield is the selected weapon. My health is 9841. When I go to the fire staff, my health goes down to 9515. I actually have to physically have the sword and shield selected to be getting any of the benefit of the sword stats. So if you're not running a sword or if you're not running a sword as one of your weapons, there's absolutely no point having a shield on. It does nothing for you except adds weight to your character so that you're less likely to be able to dodge roll. So unless you're using a sword and board, my recommendation is not to have a shield on, unless you think that it looks really neat and fancy and awesome. Thank you very much for getting all the way through to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, comment if you think I missed anything or what you think the most helpful tip was, and subscribe if you would like to see more of my ramblings. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.